Hey guys, Digital Link here. So, today I want to get you guys started with the Residence plugin on Artcraft. Do this for the new guys that are showing up here so that they can get some residents set up and they can protect the builds that they get started with. The donators, they get much bigger residences than the new guys, but we'll get into that stuff later. Just want to show you guys the very basics of getting this stuff started for all the new guys that join up so they can get their initial reses going. Get things flipped around here, and I'll show you the tools. So, to get started, two things you're going to want. You're going to want your wooden axe. That's your selection tool. Really good to have that. It's going to allow you to do all your selecting of the areas you want to protect. And then the string is set up to be like a little test tool. It's good to have that so that you can kind of test things out after you get things created. So what I've got set up here is just a flat box. We're going to keep things really simple right now because I want to do the basics. And we're going to protect this box right here to set up our first res. Before we get into actually doing the selections, I want to show you guys that if you ever get stuck with any of this stuff, Res has a pretty comprehensive help system. You start that help system by doing Res and then just a question mark, okay? And it kicks up the residence help. Now this is page 1 of 6, so if you guys wanted to really dig into this, then you could start doing res question mark, and then 2 is going to give you page 2, and all of those commands you see there, those all have sub-helps to them too. So you tag in the command, and then so you could do res select, and then another question mark, and it's going to give you the help for that particular sub-command. So I won't show you guys all that stuff because there's a lot to it, but it's there for you and it's quite descriptive, so it'll help you guys out a lot. So we'll get started in actually doing the selection. This flat box right here is what we're going to protect. So let's whip out the wooden axe, head over to our, see these pink points I set up to just kind of visually show you guys how we want to start by doing the selection. And you want to do 2 corners because it's gonna 2 corners is going to allow it to select a box. So we'll start by left clicking this one, and you see that readout right there that tells you your primary selection point. So that's 1 of 2. We need 2 to make this work. So we'll run over to our other selection point. Bam, there you go, you got your second selection point. So now you got this box selected. It doesn't do anything yet. It's not actually created. It's just the selection is set up. And if you ever wonder what you've got selected, there's a good command for reading that back to you, which is res select chords. And that's going to spit out on your screen the selections that you've got, so you can see what you've got selected and ready to go. So we've got our box selected. Now we actually want to turn it into a residence. So what I'll do here is I'll do res create. Now we're going to type in a name here for our residence we're going to create. And when we're doing that, you want to keep in mind that capitals do matter. You want to stay away from pretty much all punctuation. You can use underscores or dashes, I think, but you want to keep it simple so that it's easy for you to type in, because you're going to need to type in that name to access all the different functions that you're going to apply to your res here. So we'll create demo box 1, and there we go. So demo box 1 is created with all the default settings. Now we're going to do a little testing on this so I can show you guys what is and what isn't protected. By default there's a message on Artcraft that pops up for protected residences. So you'll see when I step inside the bounds of this box, I'm going to get that message that you've entered into a protected residence. You can change that to whatever you want it to be, but just know that that's there so it'll identify the residences right off the bat. Jump back out and it'll tell you I'm leaving. Now with the strengths tool, we can see if we punch the grass out here, nothing. But I tap one of these protected blocks, and it gives me the readout, all the information on the res. So that way you can test, okay, is this protected? Nope, that's not protected. Is this? Yep, that sure is. And the other thing I want you guys to understand is that, see how we've had this selected, and it only protects on this flat plane? Well, the ground beneath it, that's not protected stuff. You didn't protect that, only what's within this area. So if we're, say, to place a block of dirt in here and test that, that's protected. We get protection on that, but the grass below it, nope, no protection on that. So get that out of there. That is the very basics of how you go about setting up a simple residence. So now that we've got the basics out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys in the next video how to do the 3D selections. It gets a little more complex. One other thing for you guys, when you have a res created, you see with that info that you got with the string, if you're ever inside a res and you want to see that info and you don't have string, the res info command reads it all back. It tells you all about that res. So you got that at your disposal too. So there we go. That is the absolute basics of residence. Next time, we'll get into the 3D stuff, make it a little more complex.